Marvel Legends, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, Spider-Man, VHS series, Doc Ock and Aunt May. Let's get it. What is good, my peeps? Big Rock back at you again with another action figure review. This time we've got a twofer, a two-pack. In fact, we've got another offering from the VHS line. This is a Spider-Man line. As you may or may not know, Hasbro swapped over to doing Spider-Man from the X-Men, and we've been getting double packs. We had the Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man, and now we have Doc Ock and Aunt May. So yeah, and I know we're going to get at least one more. That'll be cool, which means another two figures. It's our first time getting Aunt May. A lot of people have been clamoring for her. When it comes to Spider-Man, people just want to get the entire lore, even if I mean, it's funny because this is Aunt May and she's an action figure, not a doll, an action figure. Don't get it twisted. As for Doc Ock, speaking of getting it twisted, meaning with those tentacles, we now have the 90s cartoon version of our guy. As far as Hasbro's concerned, we've gotten two previous offerings. It was actually the same figure, and it was just a reissue of a single pack Doc Ock, and then we had gotten Doc Ock with Silk in a two-pack, and that was an exclusive as well. I believe that was an Amazon exclusive. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, it was a two-pack, and there was only differences in the paint deck. It was primarily the color of the tentacles, which were non-bendable. They were all fixed, and that didn't sit well with many a collector. But that's all changed now with this iteration of Doc Ock, as we will see in a little bit. Right now, what we're going to check out is this packaging. You see the front there is VHS style packaging. You got the Spider-Man logo at the top. Got artwork of Doc Ock and Aunt May. When we turn to the right side or left side of the box, our right side, you see they've got the packaging simulating a pair of VHS tapes. You got Doc Ock and Aunt May 1 and 2, and you see we'll call them stamps down there at the bottom. On the other side, we've got stretched across Spider-Man logo, and of course the Doc Ock and Aunt May artwork that we saw there on the front of the packaging. Spidey logo at the top, and on the rear we've got digital renders of the figures. We've got on our left Doc Ock with his tentacles attached, and then on the right we have Aunt May, and that's about the size of it. They're not even showing their accessories when it comes to the VHS line. And speaking of those accessories, Aunt May comes with an additional set of hands, a pair of fists, I guess, so she can get her beat down on. You know, Aunt May isn't to be messed with. And neither is Doc Ock, as he too comes with an additional set of hands, a pair of closed fists. But here's the Fils de Resistance. We get the tentacles for him, of course. You see the pincers down there at the end. I'm going to put 3 of them down and concentrate on one so you could see what we've all been waiting for. Bendy wire. Yes, indeed. You see the holes down below there. I'm sure you can see them. But you see we've got what we've been waiting for. Bendable tentacles. And now to get into it, we've got both our figures, Doc Ock and Aunt May, on our rotating base. So you can get a nice all-around look at them. And you see we'll start with Doc Ock since he's coming around first. Definitely in the 90s cartoon motif there, and it's looking like the cartoon for real. Nothing like the comic based figure. And once again, we will compare the two a little bit later. As for our girl Aunt May, you see what she's blazing. She's got on her nice little suit, probably doing some work down there at the Feast Center, and I mean, she's Aunt May. We'll take a closer look at her as well, and there's not much you're going to do with her, but it's nice to have her and add her to the collection. Starting off with Aunt May and taking a closer look at her head sculpt. Uh, this is Aunt May, so I'm going to give it some grace, but I can't front. This portrait is disturbing. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Y'all probably want to clown me because I'm dissing Aunt May, but I'm just trying to be objective about it. But the big old eyes, I know Hasbro was trying to capture her old school look and everything, but yeah, to me this is quite disturbing. Um, I mean, as far as the portrait goes, it's pretty good. The expression is killing me right now. Looking good on the angle there. Looking pretty good. Her hair, she does have a wash in it, so that's pretty nice right there. She's got the purple tie action going on. So you do your thing, Aunt May, for real. We're gonna go ahead and get an Aunt May measurement, simply because she is Aunt May, and Aunt May is coming in at about 5 3/4 inches tall. And before we go over her articulation, we will look at what we got going on here. You see that she's got, I believe this is an overlay, the jacket, and you see the white shirt and the purplish tie that she's got going on there, and the purple, darker and even deeper purple uh, skirt that she's got going on, and she's blazing purple shoes. So yeah, Aunt May's trying to style and profile, but she'll never go buck wild. But anyway, let's wild out and see what's going on with that crazy articulation for Aunt May. Her head is on a ball hinge. She can look up about that far. She can go down very far, chin to neck action right there. She can do more than 90 degrees lifting her shoulders up, and she could 360 it. She's got the single jointed swiveling elbow action, and she's got the swivel at the wrists and the horizontal hinge on the left side. On the right side, same thing. So no differences there. In terms of her torso articulation, she's on a like a ball hinge at the lower portion of her torso, but the overlay, the jacket overlay, is going to impede. So she's only going to go back almost nothing and go forward just a little bit. She can kind of, sort of lean with it, rock with it, and you will get some twisting down there. The skirt, as you can see, she's got a slit in the back, but that helps nothing for spreading the hips. And Aunt May don't need to be spreading her hips anyway. You can get some knee action there. She's got double jointed knees, so she can get them up there. It's going to be pushed back because of the skirt. And there's a thigh swivel up in there somewhere. She does have ankle articulation. She could point her toe that far forward, that far up. She has very, uh, dicey pivot, but it's there. And she has peg holes at the bottom of her feet. And now it's Doc Ock's turn as we check out his portrait, and it's looking cool. He's got some shades. His sunglasses, they almost, I don't know if that's supposed to be cell shading on the sunglasses or not, or they're just two toned, and they're coming off like they're cell shaded, but you could see the different colors. It's a black and a blue going on there. He's got that mushroom top haircut going on. Looks pretty good. He's got a scowl on his face. I mean, it looks like a typical Dr. Octavius uh, scowl, if you will. This is what he looks like normal. This is his happy face, basically. Getting a measurement for Doc Ock, since I'm in a height measurement taking mood today. He's coming in at just a tick under 6.5 inches tall. And peeping out the whole figure here, he's got a chest overlay of yellow. There's some orange like paint there, and the body, the torso's cast in green. As you can see, he's got the striping there. There are no lines in the striping. He's got the torso, so like he's blazing a six-pack. Otto Octavius is blazing a six-pack. Arms cast in that green, but his gauntlets and his hands cast in yellow, and he's got the orange going on around the tops of the gauntlets and on the side there. And his boots, the tops of the boots are Buccaneer style, yellow, and the boots themselves cast in yellow, and you've got the orange paint going right down the fronts of the boots themselves. As far as his articulation is concerned, well, before we do that, may as well turn to the back, because this is Dr. Octopus, and you can see that he's got his harness there, which will house those legs or tentacles, whatever you want to call them. And then turn to the side, you see the ports that they'll go into. Turn to the other side so you can see the same thing. He's got the ports that they'll go into. So, yep, that's pretty cool right there. In terms of his articulation, though, his head is on a dumbbell, so he can look up that far. He can look down not too far. One, it's a dumbbell, and two, the neck portion of his upper torso overlay impedes. I think if you push it in, if you push it in, you could get a little bit more going down. You do get attitude. It can pivot side to side, and of course there's a 360. He's got shoulder guards here, so that's going to impede doing the 360, and he can only get about maybe 75 degrees lifting up. Like I said, it's going to impede doing a 360 unless you bevel out. He does have the bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, but his gauntlet is going to bump into the bicep, so that's going to impede that articulation. He's got the wrist swivel, horizontal hinge on the left side. On the right side, he has a vertical dice throwing hinge, C-grip hands on the right, C-grip hand on the right, and a like grasping, or doing that I am the greatest type of hand right there. In terms of the torso, he's got that ball joint going on, so you can get that 360 right there. He can go forward only that much, go back not far at all. He can go side to side, and he can rotate legs. He could do some great splits. He can get his leg up almost 90, back that far. He's got the thigh cut. He's got double jointed pinless knees. Always got to love that. There is no boot cut, believe it or not. He can point his toe great, though. That far down, that far up. He's got very nice ankle pivot and holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. As far as pegging in his tentacles, which is the part of the review that we've all been waiting for, it doesn't seem that there's any particular order or placement that the tentacles need to be in. Just find a hole. Well, I guess maybe gotta put a little bit of force into it. At least I think that's what you have to do, unless there is a certain port that they belong into. No, it seems like it. You just have to. There it is. Oh, you see, you have to push it in, and it'll snap in. They don't just sit there like that. So that's how you got that. And I gather you do that for all of them. So I'm gonna play the push game. And there it is. That one went. That one more or less eased, and it didn't snap in. So yeah, we'll keep going until we've got all four in place. Push. That one went in pretty decently. And the final one, get that in, and there it is, all four. So there it is. I'm going to have to pose him up. I'm sure he's not going to stand up right there on command off rip, but actually he did. There we go. Doc Ock in all his glory. And look what we can achieve now that we've got bendy wire tentacles. I've got Doc Ock off the ground and looking straight on. That is great. You gotta love it. I'm just amped right now. Here's our Doc Ock comparisons, and in an effort to get both figures into a frame with their tentacles still attached, I had to place the previous Doc Ock behind our current Doc Ock, and I say previous because this Doc Ock, the portly one, the comic-based one, is from the Silk 2-pack, and as you could see, it's got the tentacles that are fixed, and it's wild because they're fixed, but they were fixed, two of them anyway, in such a way that it kind of didn't make sense. You see, this tentacle right here is very indicative of that. They are faced down. Now, I basically heated mine up a little bit and got them into kind of different poses, if you will, so that they wouldn't just be facing down. So that's why, I mean, it's looking like it's a bunch of spaghetti over there, but that's what we had to contend with. My other Doc Ock, which is the same figure, just different paint apps, I actually used the original Doc Ock from Toy Biz, which had bendy wires, and they were thicker tentacles, and the pincers were much bigger, much more imposing than either of the two that we have here, and that one looks pretty good. I actually bought two of these Aunt May packs just so I can change out the tentacles. I know that's being very OCD-ish, but hey, that's what it is. I'll put the old tentacles back where they belong. But here you have it, the difference. You see that the comic-based Doc Ock is a more portly fellow. They still share the same colors, similar colors anyway, and they both sporting their shades. And yeah, the comic-based Doc Ock is definitely a more portly, out of shape character, but apparently he can take a punch because he's gone up against Spidey, and Spidey has laid in some lumber. I guess the comics' excuse for Doc Ock not getting knocked out quick, considering that he's an out of shape middle-aged guy, is with the flailing tentacles, Spidey could never land a solid punch. Suspension of disbelief. We are talking about comics there. And now showing Aunt May some love. After all, this is her review too, so we have to do some comparisons as well. We've got Gwen Stacy on our left and her favorite nephew, Peter Parker. The youthful Peter Parker from back in the day on her right. And to close out this review, we've got both of this dynamic duo together, and you see what Aunt May is doing. Clock in Doc Ock. I told you, Aunt May ain't to be messed with. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is the 2-pack VHS series, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, 90s cartoon based figures of Doc Ock and Aunt May. Pretty nice 2-pack. It's they're appropriate to be together because Doc Ock did have a thing for Aunt May back in the day, and still holds a soft spot for her in some of the stories that have been written recently. Uh, Aunt May is well, it's Aunt May. We've got Aunt May, and you know what was to be expected is what we got. We've got her image in plastic form. Articulation, of course, leaves a lot to be desired. You're not going to get the best female bodies for Aunt May, but it is cool. Her portrait, though, her head sculpt, while I do see Aunt May in it, the expression is just chilling to me, to say the least. It is what it is as far as Doc Ock is concerned. This is great. I believe we now have our completed Sinister Six for the 90s cartoon, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, unless if Craven was part of that, we still haven't gotten Craven yet. Well, some people have. If you're overseas, you've gotten Craven. We still haven't gotten our Craven here. Craven is a Walmart exclusive, and we still, as yet, haven't gotten that. As far as Doc Ock, the rest of them is concerned, the figure looks great. We got bendy wires. You can actually stand Ock, suspend Ock using his tentacles so his feet won't touch the ground, as you saw earlier in the review. And once again, they're bendy wires you could see as he's grasping Aunt May, while Aunt May is, of course, clocking him. So it's a pretty decent 2-pack. I don't know if the price is justified or not, but it is what it is. All the prices have gone up on the Hasbro products. So, if you want to be in it to win it, you're just going to have to spend the money if you want to get it. And that's how it's done.